Bang bang, it's your boy MBK, the action guy in the building. Today I have a special guest with me, Dakota, and today we're talking about Halloween 2018. We also have a podcast, but I'll let Dakota introduce himself first.
What's up, guys? This is Dakota, aka D&B Reviews here. Of course, kind of like Bilal said, we got podcasts together, the Cinematic Boys podcast. On there, we talk about like movie reviews, do podcast episodes each week. But I'm glad to be on Bilal's podcast, not podcast, but his YouTube channel right now to talk about Halloween 2018.
And where can we find you, Dakota? Like Instagram, TikTok, all that jazz?
So you can find me on TikTok for right now. We don't know that's going to happen. Of course, I'm on Instagram, YouTube. It's all under DMB reviews, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll put goes in the link of the description and shout out to your dog in the background barking. Anyways, Dakota, I think my first question on Halloween 2018 is what's your first memory of this film?
So my first memory of this film was the trailer when it was released. It was June of 2018 because I remember this while rewatching it today. Um, I remember watching the original Halloweens when I was younger, and I'm like, oh, they're making a new Halloween. I'm like, this is gonna be exciting. But like my first like avid memory of like really wanting to go see this movie is when I was in college. We had a group project, and we were doing the box office numbers of like the Halloween franchise versus the Friday the 13th franchise. And they're like, oh, yeah, the new Halloween movie is releasing this Friday. And it just went over my head for like the last 4 months that this movie was actually going to be out in theaters that week after the trailer was released. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go see this movie. When, of course, went to go see this movie. And I'll go my thoughts later on. But that's my first memories of this movie.
Yeah. For me, man, I remember 2018. It was like October time. About my like, I was like calling all my homies, like, "Yo, you want to see Halloween 2018 on Two Pussy See this alone in theater?" Uh, I can't. I got dinner. Hey, buddy, can I see Halloween? Well, do you want to see Halloween 2018? I got plans with my girlfriend. I'm like, oh, it's all good. And then I bought my ticket. I remember sitting, and there was like this couple beside me. I'm like, hey, before this movie starts, I'm giving y'all a warning. I might be screaming during this movie. And they're like, oh, that's okay, brother. And I came in and watched the film. I didn't scream, luckily. But it was 2018. I was 18. I was the biggest pussy ever, but thank God I didn't scream. But yeah, I think that was my memory. But I was so immersed into Halloween 2018. And which gets to my next question. What did you think about the whole opening of this film?
I really like the opening. It's different than any other Halloween movie. This, of course, this is like a sequel to the 1978 film, and you kind of can see that it kind of shows like little glimpses of back of like Dr. Loomis of what Loomis's records was. But of course, this time Donald Pleasance is he isn't alive during this one, so they had to get a new doctor in. So they kind of showed the new doctor, and of course, I thought it was just very like really good because it put Michael right in the very center of this movie. Like you knew going to this was going to be a legacy sequel to the original Halloween, and you get it. You see Michael; he's been in Smith's Grove for 40 years, and I really like the aspect of like the podcasters in this, the detective podcasters,
Yeah,
because I've always in this Halloween franchise, we've always got the perspective of like Laurie, of Loomis, of like the cops and stuff, but we never got like the first like perspective of like just some people that are interested in Michael Myers, and
yeah.
that's what really got me with this.
I think what makes this opening more effective is when the detective, well, not detective, well, podcaster or reporters, let's just say that, pull up the Michael Myers mask and everything, everyone else around them go crazy. You see the darks barking real loud and they're screaming, say something. And then you see that title card. And I thought that was such a great way to set up the title card. But speaking of the whole opening credits, what did you think about like the pumpkin forming and
So I really enjoy that because, of course, it's kind of showing like this movie's bringing kind of the life back into the franchise of what the original was. But going back to a little bit, back to that scene a little bit with he's holding the mask when it hits the title cards. When I was watching this in theaters, that's the one of the biggest jump scares I think you didn't even see coming.
yeah, especially with the score during that, it's
Yeah,
just really loud and I mean, I feel like it just sets the tone right off the rip, which is another effective way to do it. Instead of having opening kill, having a really terrifying aesthetics or showcasing the fear of Michael Myers without not even showing his face. You just see the back of his head, the whole sequence, and it's still terrifying. And you feel the fear of everyone in the asylum as well, which is fantastic, you know?
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I was kind of thinking of this when you were talking about there right there about like the Michael Myers looking and everything. This kind of seems like if you haven't seen a Halloween movie, you can watch this and you know what kind of happens in the big like in the original one just by that beginning of like what Michael Myers is, what happened in that first one. So if you go into this one fresh and brand new to the Halloween franchise, it gives you a better perspective. I think what you're going to go into because a lot of like requels nowadays don't give you a good perspective of what the original was, and they just drop you right into this world. And a lot of newcomers, that's how I think a lot of these newer movies don't get a lot of love like this one did. Because I think David Gordon Green done a perfect job. Like not only that, but of course John Carpenter's involved with this, and he was the
Yeah.
original director of Halloween. And so that's just he puts his thoughts into it to help David Gordon Green out. But with John Carpenter, he comes back to do the score, I think, with his grandson. So
Yeah.
that's what even makes it better.
And I'm speaking of score. Well, it's like the original Michael Myers score, but has some modern themes to it, and I think it just elevates the film so much. But another thing I want to talk about is what do you think about the whole conversation between the reporters and Laurie Strode, like the first interaction that, well, the only interaction they had together.
You could see that Laurie is traumatized from these events from 1978 and she wants to be by herself. She's preparing for Michael. She knows that he's going to be traveling from Smith's Grove to another prison to live for the rest of his life. And she's preparing this. And you see it right when the reporters come up to the gate. This is like they got to answer press on a button. They got to try to get her to open the door. The only way she's opened this door is that cash. If they didn't have that cash, they would never got in there. But once I get into there, it kind of feels a little bit awkward, a little bit
Yeah, for sure.
because like you could tell like she wants to be by herself, but these reporters like they're kind of a bit selfish. They want to get the news that they want, so they can
Yeah.
just be like a little bit famous. I'm guessing because of course this is probably one of the biggest cases in the United States during like this Halloween like universe like all around the world.
Yeah, for sure. Like, but you could really tell that Lori didn't want to be any a part of the reporting. She just wants to kind of live at peace, kind of way. And then, well, obviously, you see the transfer happening. So Lori is fearful of Michael Myers coming back to Smithsboro, Smith Road and bring terror again. So you'll understand that. But I feel like it's a realistic approach on PTSD because I feel like the emotions that Lori has drinking alcohol and just being paranoid uh, affects her family too. Like the daughter of hers, Karen. isn't really close with Lori because of that. And I think that's another great angle. So, what did you think about the whole Karen and Lori like relationship in this film?
It kind of shows you hmm, like one side is trying to be protective with Lori, trying to protect her daughter because she knows Michael's going to escape one day. But then Karen, on Karen's side, it kind of is like your mom's crazy, like my mom's crazy, and I kind of want to stay away from her. But you kind of can tell a little bit. I think that her mom, that she could tell her mom's not that crazy, and of course she's trying to protect, like Karen's trying to protect her own daughter and Allison
Yeah.
from Lori because Allison's just a high schooler trying to live her life. I think Karen don't want that same path for Allison. What happened to her when she was younger?
Yeah, especially with Lori forcing her to do so much training, and because of that, she was taken away at age, what was it,
12.
8, 12, 12, yeah. Which is, oh no, she learned to shoot her first gun at 8, and she was taken at 12. Okay, I remember now. Okay, cool. Um, but I think the nurse sequence I really want to talk about is the whole bus crash sequence, and you know, seeing Michael Myers finally escape was kind of terrifying, especially with him killing that kid. What do you think about what do you think about how they set that up during that whole sequence?
I was really shocked by that scene. Like, I think the whole setting of the bus crash and everything was really good because it kind of reminds you of a little bit of the original. But killing the kid was a shock to me because out of like so far out of the Halloween movies I've seen at that time, besides like of course in 4 and 5, him going after Jamie, we
Yeah,
never see him really kill a kid on screen,
yeah,
and
and
that was
poor,
just the most shocking
yeah.
thing.
I mean, poor kid just wanted to do dance lessons, but he got killed because his dad wanted to do hunt with him. But speaking of the dad, what do you think about his off-screen death of his like neck being like, I don't know, crooked in such a insane way? I don't know how to describe it.
So for me, as like a big horror fan, like when I first saw this, I'm like, I don't know if I wanted to see this stuff, but now it's like see the creativity of like the aftermath. It's
Yeah,
like how did Michael actually do that?
yeah, yeah.
Because
Like,
a lot of the kills in this movie is just like it's just him stabbing somebody or something like that. Like how did he like literally take that guy's head and like bend his neck back?
yeah. And it's super gnarly because this movie does have some really awesome off-screen deaths, and well, there's another one that I liked was during the gas station when well before Michael Myers, kills the reporters, but there's like a cool like gas station one that I really like. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, so for that one, before I even saw the movie, you know how they always do their first looks of like movies these
Yeah.
days? That was like one of the first two looks for this movie. And I knew this it was going to be brutal from just them just showing that, but it was like a bit of curiosity of like how is this going to happen? But when we know like the after effects of like what actually happened to the guy, of when he's in the bathroom with that woman reporting, he just like drops the teeth in the bathroom
Oh
stall.
yeah, yeah. But like before that, have you noticed that you see Michael Myers in the daylight in the background during the whole sequence when they were in the gas station?
First time I didn't, but after like being a big fan of Halloween, the Halloween franchise, and seeing so much of this in the Halloween franchise of Michael just driving around, I did notice it this time.
Yeah, like it's a very blurred image, but you can really tell it's Michael Myers lurking and killing the truck driver and like kind of in the background to get you know um, the truck suit. I'll say that, but going into the whole teeth sequence, seeing that reporter get killed, make you feel bad for the reporter. But I like the set of it. Like it's slow, it's suspenseful. It's Michael Myers kind of playing with the reporter before killing the reporter, which I really like. And then you see the other reporter come in and get his head slammed really hard against the wall, which kind of reminds me of a little bit of Halloween 2007. Does it not? A little bit.
2007. What scene are you talking about from
I'm talking
2007?
about the bathroom scene where the that guy gets.
Oh, Joe Grizzly's death.
Yeah,
Yeah, it kind of does. I didn't think of that. It kind of okay. So a little bit of that bathroom kind of remind me of like a bathroom that would be in a Rob Zombie movie. It's dirty. It's grimy.
yeah. But yeah, you know what I love about that bathroom scene is the reporter's looking for a clean bathroom, and she finally finds one in the last one. That's funny.
Obviously, got to, and it didn't look that clean though, and not
Yeah,
hundred
to be
percent.
honest, it didn't look that clean. And then, well, when Michael Myers actually does come, she's like, "Excuse me, this one's being used right now." I don't think she realized that was Michael, though.
I like though because she's in the women's bathroom, right? Did she not just like realize the boots? Like this is a man just literally standing in your bathroom. Is that just not like weird?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, that whole death scene was pretty good setup. But I, I like she gets her neck snapped, but our guy gets his head slammed really hard against the wall. Um, do you wish the reporters were in the film a little longer though, or was that the right amount of runtime for them?
I think that's the right round amount of runtime, and because there's one shot after their death I love,
Oh yeah, man,
and it
Michael Myers put on the mask. Yeah,
yeah when he gets them, I remember that every time when I first saw that in theaters of him putting the mask on, and him just closing the car, and it's just him just standing there. But what I'm thinking is this whole entire time, right? You see Michael walking in the background, right, in
yeah.
this gown. First of all, why did somebody not think this dude's walking around in this gown in a gown? What's up with him? And he's just putting a mask on in the middle of the daylight.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, actually, after kills, I mean, we're not talking about kills, but the town is pretty dumb, so I'll let that slide. I'll let it slide. But which another thing I like about this movie is Laurie Strode scaring like the family. Bang, you're dead. Like her paranoia come in, and while she knows that Michael Myers is out too, right? So what you think about that little comedy scene in there?
I thought that was good because it kind of shows that Lori's preparation is not stuck with Karen. Like I think she knows about it, but she don't want to follow it. But like you're talking about the family when we introduced to like Karen, Allison, and Ray.
Yeah.
That's one of the funniest scenes ever.
Oh my god, I got peanut butter on my penis.
Okay, to be honest, when I first started watching that in theaters, I'm like, did he actually say that line? And I rewatched it once it came out on physical media. I'm like, yeah, he did say the line. And I think they said they were not expecting for that actor to say the line, and they were so uncomfortable when that came out of his mouth. They're like, we kind of maybe need to stick this in the film.
I mean, it's a funny line though. It reminds me of Rob Zombie Halloween again, bro. It's crazy.
True.
Um, oh man, we gotta talk about the whole sequence. The one take, Michael Myers killing spree. I'd like to talk about the whole sequence because I thought
Killing
that was.
spree.
Remember the whole in the Halloween part. Well, outside of Smithsburg, you see kids dressed up, and you see Michael Myers walking. The whole
Oh yeah,
one.
I know we talked about him. Um, I thought that was really good. It shows. It kind of shows like the aesthetic of like I think always in this Halloween franchise, we always thought that Michael was killing people that got in his way. But you see him out in the day with a whole bunch of kids and adults around, and he's specifically picking people that he knows to pick off one by one, like the woman that's in the kitchen. He kills her with a hammer. Scares the baby. The baby scared me. I thought he was gonna kill that
Oh
baby, to
yeah,
be
yeah,
honest
that
with you,
was
when I first saw
haunting.
that.
Yeah,
And then him, it's the kill when he kills the woman and when she's looking out the window
Oh yeah, that
I
was a
didn't
good one.
expect that when I first saw that in theaters, because when I first saw this, I wasn't into horror like I am now. So seeing that kill really shocked me because I was not even expecting that.
Yeah, but I feel like that shot of the camera being in front of the window and you see the women having a conversation, it's such a clean cut shot that's a one still camera movement, and you see just Michael Myers just like slowly stab her in the neck and it's like a quick death, but it's such an effective death too. But they did use a little bit of CGI though, like a tiny bit when
It,
the blood spurt.
I thought that too. And another thing I like about that scene is when he looks in the window before he goes into the house and you see his mask reflecting off the glass.
Yeah,
I really like that shot right there.
yeah, dude, I think this movie probably has one of like some of the coolest Michael Myers shots ever. Like, there's so many great shots on Michael Myers in this.
Okay, I agree with you on that. Like I love all these movies in this trilogy.
Yeah.
I think this, I don't know about ends, but I know this and Kills has some of the best Michael shots. And I'm thinking that's because they knew what the first two stories was, because of course they did change the story of ends. And because originally the trilogy was supposed to be set all in one night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they had a script and everything before the pandemic happened, and they were ready to shoot ends, and they were before the pandemic happened. And it was supposed to be um because have you ever seen the alternate cut ending for Kills?
No, I have not yet.
It's in the trailer. You know when Lori's walking out through the hospital through all the people.
Yeah.
It's because she's on the phone. And it's the same thing. Like she tells you, she says, "Michael, I'm coming for you," and she's walking through the thing and holding the knife, and it really gets me because I kind of wish they just stuck with that and went for that whole entire thing of this um franchise, because it sticks with right at the end of the first one of Allison holding the knife. The original cut, Lori was holding the knife. It's like I wish they would done the continuation of what they wanted to do.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I feel like it would have been better if they did that, and I feel like it'd be a much more consistent trilogy because I feel like they kind of went all over the place and kills and that just didn't make it feel so complete, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's just the ending. I think that ending like it's way off because I thought like there were so many theories about that very like the theatrical ending shot of when Michael and Laurie are looking out. Like they think that they're looking at each other, and we will always wonder what Michael's staring out the window at, but we never really get that whole entire thing and ends. I think that's what kind of messes up right there, just a little, very little bit.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um, Another thing I want to talk about is, I mean, Cameron, what did you think about this character in 2018? Obviously later on we like him, but this movie specifically.
No, this movie, he seemed like a cool dude at the beginning. We kind of get a little bit backstory that this is Lonnie's son.
Oh
Of
yeah,
course, Lonnie is the kid that bullies Tommy Doyle in the original Halloween. So we kind of, you gotta think though that if this is Leon's son, that this dude might be a little bit of a bully dickhead also, and you don't see that at first, but later on you get to see that, especially when he's at the party and he's drinking, and then he kisses the other girls. Then he throws
yeah.
Allison's phone into the pudding bowl, which I really want to know what parties have pudding bowls.
I have no idea. Yeah, but my question is, why did Alice just not, scoop it up and just clean the phone?
I don't know. It kind of did just like sink in there.
I mean, yeah, but it's still in there. You could like scoop it up.
I think she was just like she was heated in the moment, just like fuck it, I'm done.
I mean, you're here in the moment, but you didn't use your phone though. It's just-
True.
that, well, that's a plot device. That was a plot device though. That moment.
Yeah, because it kind of does set up later on like they can't get in contact with her.
Yeah. Um, what do you think about Vicky and Julian's, babysitter,
I
you
like their
know,
relationship.
yeah, the relationship, yeah.
I thought it was really funny. I really like Julian. He's like, I'm just over here clipping my nasty ass toenails. I just start busting out laughing.
Yeah, bro, I love Vicky too, man. I wish she survived, to be honest, but
I love their thing of when she's on the phone and she's like, "Let's smoke some Alakazam." He's like, "I know what you're smoking. You smoking the tree." He's like, "I know what the Alakazam is." I'm thinking, how does that a 10-year-old know what Alakazam is?
I feel like Julian was hilarious, and I feel like Vicky was a really cool character too. I also love Dan with the motorcycle, and then just drops his shit. Um, but the whole sequence when Julian said, "Oh, I saw the boogeyman. It was in my room." And it's like Vicky scares Julian first, and then opens the closet door. There's Michael Myers. And then Julian said, "Dan, you're dead."
Oh yeah, that's not funny. He's like, Dan. He's like, what? He's like, you damn, if you go up there. I'm thinking, damn, okay, you just ran out the door and tell him that. And I love that. He's like, Vicky, can you check the door? And she joined the door, and she opens it. Michael says the knife, and Julie's like, oh shit,
because
don't help, don't help Vicky or nothing. He just goes out the damn room.
I'm like, I thought Wiki was your favorite, Julian, huh? You go treat her like that. But you know what pisses me off about Vicky is the way she died. She slipped on her
I was about to say that too.
I'm like,
The damn
yo.
shock.
I'm like, I really like this character. As soon as that happened, I'm like, I don't really like this character.
No, but the thing I think that most got spoiled in that because the trailer showed when she's opening the door, Michael's right there at the door.
Yeah.
That's one of the shots in the first trailer. I think if they didn't show that in the first trailer, it would have been a lot better surprise because we already kind of knew Michael was in there. But if we didn't get that shot at all in the trailer, and it would have been a total surprise, I think would have been even elevate the scene to even better.
Oh yeah, 100%. I wish that. Well, I didn't watch the trailer, but if I wish it was in the trailer, because it would be such a surprise moment, especially with Vicky and Julian having such a great chemistry together. I like the fact that there's like a low cute moment with Vicky saying, "You're my favorite." It's like moments like that are very subtle and a very dark film that really makes the movie great, if that makes sense, in a character standpoint of view.
Yeah, she kind of does. I just to be honest with you, besides Vicky and Julian, I like her and Dan's relationship. It's the tattoo scene.
Oh
He's like, "Oh,
yeah,
I got." He's like, "Oh, I got a tattoo," and you don't see the tattoo what it is until he gets killed, and it's
yeah,
October 31st, 2018.
yeah. That's a clever. Yeah, yeah. That was such a cool little Easter egg, or you
But
know,
back to another Easter egg. Sorry to interrupt you right there.
no problem.
Um, is the way he kills Dan is the way he kills Bob in the original
Oh
Halloween.
yeah, sticks in the wall like a painting, basically. Well, head tilt,
Oh,
classic.
and another thing I just picked up also. I don't know if you noticed this. Going back to the bathroom scene when Michael opens the door, right, and you see, and then he starts opening the first bathroom doors. Do you see the reporters tilt her head, kind of like how he
Oh
did in
yeah,
that
she
scene?
did. I remember that.
I didn't notice that till this. I'm like, holy crap! I'm like, that's just such a great nod.
Yeah, that was such a great little nod to that scene. I thought that was a cool scene. Um, Oh, another thing I want to talk about is what did you think about Hopkins' introduction, him playing in the arcade before, him checking out the bus,
I kind of like it because you kind of could see this dude is a older cop or sheriff, and he's just a lot of people know him in the town, and he's just like one of those. And of course, I think he knows like when the call is like first called in, and he shows up to the scene. He kind of know what's going on because later on we find out that he was the officer that was on scene to stop Loomis from killing Michael back in '78.
Yeah. I feel like it's a cool little introduction to show that this cop means business because he just showed up right off rip, which is another great thing. But you see the regrets of the cop not letting Loomis kill Michael too. So it's an interesting dynamic for that character.
True.
But also Lori and him have a divorce, right? That's the one of the divorces in the beginning they talked about, right?
No, so it's not. I think later on we found out in the franchise, if I remember right, is that her and Frank always had a thing for each other, but because of course this retcons Halloween 2, so Ben Tramer never died
Oh,
in this one, so she's married to Ben Tramer, but she's always had things for um Frank.
Frank, yeah. I thought I was well, I like the relationship. I remember the first time they run into each other. Lori just hits him with the gun, and it's like, "You scared me."
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, I thought that was a fun moment in there. Ooh, I want to talk about this. Oscar's death scene. You want to break it down?
Oh, okay, it's funny and brutal at the same time because this dude, he thinks he can hook up with Allison after she breaks up with Cameron. That's your first red flag right there.
Yeah,
Um, and the way he explains how he's like, Allison, he's like, I'm just a little horny. He's like, all these girls have me feed me guac in some sexy ways. I thought, holy crap. But then he turns around and I love this. Michael's just standing in the bushes. And
yeah,
he's like, "Oh, I forgot what the neighbor's name he's called." He's like, "Oh, Mister." He's like, "I'm sorry that I'm in your yard." I'm thinking, dude, why do you think this dude just standing in his yard in the middle of the night? I'm thinking, you can't tech. You could definitely tell you're drunk. Then he's like, light shut off because of course it's motion censored. Because I was
yeah,
like, it's motion censored, you dumbass. Then Michael shows up again. He's like literally probably from here to here, and you can see a shadow. And it's weird too because it's just a shadow. And that next thing of is of kind of like a jump scare of him cutting Oscar, but Oscar death scene like actually right, they're climbing up on the fence, and you hear Michael stabbing. You can definitely hear um especially after rewatching this now, of his whole jaw going right into the fence post. And when
yeah,
Allison finds him, one is gruesome, but it's so terrifying because Michael. It's kind of funny and terrifying because Michael's like peekaboo, and he just like walks around the corner.
yeah. But like the thing about it is the creativity of the death scene, like lights her on and off. It's a great shot. Again, a lot of great shots in this movie, like we mentioned. But
Let me see
hearing
who. I kind of want to see who done the cinematography for this a little bit.
Yeah, but it's such a clean cut shot of Michael Myers killing Oscar. Yeah, and it's such a gruesome death, but it leads to the moment of the epic shot of Michael Myers and Allison face to face for the first time. And that score when he shows up and Allison sees him is so great. Like that score is beautiful.
Oh, of the fence.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
when
okay. That whole entire that song or that I don't know if it's song, but like that I think it will be song from the score or that piece from the score. Of course, we get it when Michael's ripping up the thing at the very end of the
Yeah.
movie. That's my favorite piece of favorite part of the score of the whole entire movie. I like replay that every like I think it's like a couple months or a couple weeks. I listen to that part of that score every time because I think one that brings like you said like a little haunting feel, but it's like that John Carpenter feel that we always wanted. That you get a little bit of that, but you get a little bit of like you said modernized like really dark and grim.
Yeah, 100%. And I just love that score leads to Allison screaming, and then, well, obviously running to Hopkins. And who's the doctor's name? What's the doctor's
Doctor Sertain.
Loomis.
No, Sertain.
Certains, the new Loomis that Laurie
Yeah.
says in the film.
Yeah, I really hate it. She's like, "Oh, you're the new Loomis." I'm thinking, no, I'm thinking you better put some respect on Loomis's name now.
Because that doctor, man, he did something sketchy, stabbing Hawkins in the neck, and bro, I laugh my ass off every time he wears the fucking Michael Myers like mask.
I love how he throws back away his car. He's like, "Take care of my patient." I'm like, "What do you mean take care of your patient?" I'm like, this dude's a serial killer." I'm thinking I'm not going to take care of him.
Yeah, but like, I mean, later on we know how well Hopkins is alive, but like, how is he alive? He got stabbed in the neck, and his legs not get run over too. Like,
Yeah, I was thinking that when I watched Kills for the first time, I'm like, dude, this dude's actually still alive. I'm like,
yeah.
holy shoot.
But this leads to my favorite kill of the whole movie is and well, before that doctor says, he says, say something, and Michael Myers slowly just, explodes his head like, well, stop, explodes his head like a pumpkin, essentially.
And you kind of can see it's like he tilts the head a little bit
Yeah.
and he just stomps it. And this is another thing. Christopher Nelson done the practical effects for all of these.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of horror movies. Like he also does. I know you don't like it. The Exorcist Believer. He done the practical effects for that. He done the practical effects for the Fear Street trilogy. So he has done really good practical effects. And he done it. I think it's this kill and the kill later on with two cops.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
was absolutely amazing.
Oh, bro, speaking of those two cops, the conversation about lunch was hilarious. Um, the brownie line. That's something a 5-year-old would eat.
I love it. It's like I made brownie and like I'm thinking, dude, did you just like put peanut butter and peanuts together down here? He's like, oh, this is like a little chocolatey brownie. I'm like, dude, you just had chocolate. That's diabetes right there.
Man, I wish Ghost. Well, apparently Ghosts were actual cops, though.
No, okay, so the one who's has the thing, the 5-year-old lunch,
Yeah.
that's Christopher Nelson. That's the dude who does the
Oh, that's
practical
Christopher.
effects.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I got you. But the other one was talking about like a Winnie's wrap or something, or oh, baguette. There we go. It was a baguette, right?
Oh, I had it in my head.
I forgot
Bond
what.
me sandwich. It's a bondy me sandwich.
Yeah, man, that sound good. The bounty sound good. I wanted.
I'm thinking you had the peanut butter and jelly. I'm thinking that kind of does sound good.
It kind of sounds good, low key. I might have to try that honestly, if that exists somewhere. I'm sure it
Hopefully it
does.
does.
Hopefully, yeah. Or we had to talk about David Corn Green to tell us where to find it.
Where to find that true.
Hi, if you see this, please let us know. We're curious. But speaking of Michael Myers, their death scene, you showed that Michael Myers kind of has fun with deaths a little bit because it kind of made them look like a piece of art, like Halloween art. if that makes sense. Make them
Yeah,
like a
because
make them look like a lantern, so to speak.
true, because of course it's like when Ray goes outside when the cop car pulls up. I love how Michael just like has learned how to like drive cars
Yeah,
out
but
of nowhere.
how he was in jail for 40 years? How does he? There,
So it's so I can explain that to you. It's so weird. It's part of the timeline, like another timeline in six, which is the Curse of Michael Myers. You find out how he learns to drive a car, but
oh
of course in this timeline that's not canon. So you just think in your head like, how does he actually know how to drive?
yeah, I know. Yo, he'd be good at Fast and Furious franchise. I'm just saying.
Michael Myers versus Dominic Toretto. Let's go.
That's a crossover we need.
And you know what? They're both Universal. If Universal can get the rights
Exactly.
back,
It's possible. Let's do it. But this leads to the finally leads to the moment of Laurie versus Michael. And what did you think about the whole fight sequence of that?
oh, when we first see, okay, this it starts right here. When Ray gets killed, I
Yeah,
felt bad. I felt really bad for that death. He was so innocent. He just was trying to see if Allison was out there. But the part of when, and it's spoiled in the trailer. This is spoiled in the trailer. Also, I wish it was never. It's when Michael grabs his hand through the glass and grabs Laurie's head. That was shown in the trailer.
yeah,
If that was never shown in the trailer, that would have been the biggest jump scare of all time. I think in this trilogy.
yeah. But
But what were you just gonna say?
But I was going to say, I like that. I mean, I don't know why Laurie was so close to the door in the first place, but I like the fact when Laurie shoots the gun, you see Michael Myers like fingers get like blown off too. That was a cool moment.
Then the rest of this movie is kind of like cat and mouse a little bit. It kind of seems
Yeah,
like Michael's hiding and Laurie's trying to find him. But I love this. You could tell that Laurie has been setting this up. She, if Michael's not in the room, she closes the door, and it's like a kind of like the mall gates, like when they close it, kind of like a metal fence kind of thing.
yeah. Home Alone.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah,
And then when then we realize she has the stadium lights on her house, and she just turns them on,
yeah.
and just shines up the whole scene. She knew what she was doing the whole entire time.
Oh, 100%. But the moment I like is when you see local statues everywhere, and you have this suspenseful moment of Michael Myers. Well, you're trying to figure out which one is Michael Myers hiding behind, and then he pops out of nowhere and then just throws Laurie out of the house. And that's the moment when Allison comes screaming, "Mom, Grandma!" And then Michael Myers looks, sees her, and then when that moment happens, comes back and Laurie's gone. It's such a great homage to the original film. You think?
Yeah, I was about to say that. And a little thing about that mannequin scene I liked is when I was rewatching this today, I was thinking, of course, Michael's fingers were shot off. David Gordon Graham then put blood on every dummy to counter us to know which one Michael was hiding behind.
Oh yeah, that was a clever low directing technique for sure. Um, Yeah, man. Another thing I want to talk about is, when you first saw this movie and when you see Karen said, "I'm sorry, I can't do this," or like, did you have like, "Oh my god" moment, like, "Oh my god, she's a pussy" moment kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, Lori is like over here. She just fell off the building. We don't know where she's at. And Allison Karen's going to die. That's what I thought. And then when Michael steps up, she's like, gotcha.
Yeah,
And you know what gets me is the flashback in the. I just picked this up today. The flashback when they show her training as a little kid, when
yeah.
she's shooting the sniper rifle and she hits one of the dummies, she says, "Gotcha." Also,
Oh yeah, she did that. Yeah, that's a great technique. But then you see Lori come and it's like, Happy Halloween, Michael stabs him, and it was a cool little great moment between all three characters, and no stopping Michael, and eventually trapping him, and you realize this whole house is a trap, which is a cool setup.
I really like that. The biggest question I want to ask you
Oh,
is,
you got a question for me? Damn,
yeah, I
I
got a
didn't.
question for you. Um, this one because I didn't know if you were going to ask this one. When you first saw this, of course, kills and ends was never announced. Did you think Michael was dead?
No, because in the credits you hear Michael Myers breathing, so I kind of figured that was indicating that they're gonna make another film.
That was another thing. I normally leave during the credits. We did when I was younger. We
Yeah,
stayed for the whole entire credits, and when we heard his breath, that was the thing we just talked about nonstop. Like it was me, my dad, and my brother rode in like one vehicle while my mom and some other family
yeah,
when we went to go eat because we all saw it together. And me and my dad, and my brother were just talking about one this whole movie afterwards. But that ended part of that breast scene is like, is Michael alive? Is Michael not alive? We had like a 20-minute conversation about that.
yeah, for sure. But like another thing about this movie, I love the way it ends with Allison holding a knife. It's bloody. It's such a great little scene, man. I like that.
I was wondering, I always wondered, did they film this and kills back to back? Because though their costumes at the end of that when they're in that truck looks the same way as kills.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they might have. But I mean, we're not supposed to be talking about kills, but this leads to the most epic fight scene between the firefighters and Michael Myers in the opening of Kills. I thought that was clever, you know. I don't know.
To be honest, I think that is probably the best thing I think I've remember. That's not always the one scene I remember from Kills is that opening fire scene, and it's kind of gets the curiosity of like, and it explains it in Kills like what have like actually what does Michael look like? That was in all our heads when they announced Kills because we knew he was still in that fiery house.
Oh yeah, I love that burned mask, man. That was so dope.
So, which mask do you like better, Kills or 18?
I gotta go with Kills. I just like the dirt feel of it. The burn mask. I think that's cool.
I like Kills, but of course, like right back here, you guys could see I do have the 18 mask.
I mean, 18 Mass is great though. I think it's one of the best Halloween masks out there.
I think it really like stacks up with the original. It kind of looks like the original. They done a great job, and Christopher Nelson did make the mask also. And when he was going into this, he done a lot of research of what they did because of course it's Captain Kirk mask, the original Michael Myers mask, but like the details and stuff that they put into this, but like the wear and tear.
Yeah. I like the fact that it's basically the original mask, but they make it look older,
Yeah,
which is something really realistic about the Michael Myers mask. Plus, man, Michael looks so badass with that mask. I mean, yeah, iconic character, by the way.
true. Michael Myers is like Michael Myers is my favorite horror villain of all time.
Nice. I think he's definitely up there for sure for me too. My succeeding wars always obviously that the Alien franchise is one of Alien franchise is my favorite horror franchise. That way.
Yeah, I think this is definitely. People have always asked me, and they're like, "This is my favorite horror movie franchise of all time." The Halloween ones is.
Yeah. Anyways, man, is there anything else you want to add, or should we call it a day?
I think we should call it a day. I think we talked about enough about this movie, but Anybody that is watching this video, if you guys haven't seen Halloween 2018, I would highly recommend that you guys go see this movie. This is a really good movie. And if you like this movie, definitely go check out the other two with Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll put Dakota's Instagram. Hopefully, TikTok's still there. His TikTok as well, YouTube, and the Semat Boys podcast stuff in the description for sure. Make sure to check him out and the podcast. And yeah, man, thank you for coming on my YouTube channel. And yeah, I think we're done. All right. Peace. MBK out.
See you guys.